Hey beautiful souls and divine beings. I've gone live again. It's great to be here. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tom and I make videos that help you awaken your soul and create an extraordinary life. I'll just wait for a few people to jump on. Checking that the connection's all good. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. And just take a nice deep breath. It's great to be here. Hi Carla, great to see you. Hope you're doing really well. When we last spoke, I know you were doing extraordinarily well, which is great. So just taking a moment to take a few deep breaths, and we're going to have a really amazing session today and discussion all about energy. So the reason I feel inspired to talk about energy today is because it's been a highly energetic week. There's been a lot going on around the world, and I'll be speaking a little bit about that. But really how this is a very positive thing for you. The more you understand about energy, and as energy plays out collectively around the world, it's an opportunity for you to recognize your own power to step into your greatest self and create your greatest life. Now, I'll just kind of talk about the elephant in the room, which gave me a lot of energy this week, which was to do with the Will Smith incident that we saw play out at the Oscars. Now, this isn't a channel where I'm going to have any really, I don't really want any divisive, debates about this. I'm certainly not going to give us, a deep focus on that, because I want to focus on more things that this incident can kind of help us learn within ourselves. I will say, obviously, I don't think violence is the answer. But what this incident brought up for me was a lot of energy, particularly in my solar plexus, which is a trouble spot for me in my journey so far. And for a few days there, I was sitting in meditation and picking up on so many thoughts around this incident. So much so, I almost felt like these thoughts weren't necessarily coming from me and my own reaction to it, but almost like it shocked a lot of us around the world so much that we all had our own mind and our own focus on it, our own conscious awareness on it, and we are all connected in that way. So I think it was buzzing around the collective for quite a few days there around this incident. We were all trying to process it. What does it mean? Why did this happen? And all the emotions that came up around that. And so firstly, whatever you did felt, whatever your opinions are, by the way, if you see it get really light, it's a thing with my webcam, and the sun kind of comes in and out. So bear with me when it goes behind a cloud. It should stop being so bright. But whatever you did feel around the incident, I honor that. And I hope you've taken some space to process how you felt. I certainly have been sitting with my emotions around that. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But whatever you felt, it's totally okay. And what happens in an event like this is it helps. When we bring conscious awareness to such an event that kind of shakes us around the world and brings up a lot of discussion, what we attempted to do, and what a lot of people do, is they kind of fall into the sense of creating division from an event like this. Whereas I feel that it's actually an opportunity for inner reflection, and where we can learn and we can bring certain awareness to certain things, and we can actually unlock new possibilities within ourselves by processing the energy. And so when I sat down there to reflect on the Will Smith incident and all the opinions that were circling around the world, it really brought into me this sense of a kind of a letting go of any power outside myself. So I have no strong opinions against anyone. I've certainly think highly of Will Smith, all throughout his career, and also Chris Rock. I think highly of them. I have nothing against them. And what I realized though is that a part of me still sees things, people outside of me as somehow being a source of how I should feel about myself and life. And obviously anything that we externally have an attachment outside of ourselves to give us something, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a certain point in your journey where you realize, no, I've got to generate something within me. I've got to come within me into my own power and heal with what's going on inside me. And then as we do that, we kind of work out, how am I projecting onto situations? What limiting beliefs am I holding on to with various situations? What expectations am I having about how life should be other than the way it is? And as we heal and soothe all of that, we come to a deeper space of peace with the world, and we start radiating from a space of unity and love and empowerment that actually starts creating our best life. And so whatever came up from this incident or anything else that's going on around the world or your life, it's actually the greatest sign with what's arising within you as an opportunity for you to look into that, investigate what it's all about, so you can arrive at a greater space of clarity and healing in which you become a beacon of love and light for the world, and you can kind of radiate that to the world. So coming back to energy though, it's really important that we keep talking about the power of our energy. When I'm talking about your energy, I'm talking about your field of consciousness that you exist in. And we know about the scale of consciousness. It starts off in very low vibratory spaces like grief, like fear, like apathy, and it rises up and up and up as we come into alignment with vibratory states like peace, love, joy, enlightenment, etc. So this such a reaction from the external forces in our life brings up certain things within us to look into, so that we can look at the lower spaces of vibration and raise them into higher vibrations, spaces we want to be in. And when we get into those higher spaces of alignment, vibration, energy within ourselves, it has a direct impact on what we attract into our life. So when we look at this Will Smith incident, not we look at it as a way to look within inside us, to heal and clear whatever's within inside us, so that we can step into a greater space of peace within ourselves, knowing that it's going to directly impact and create our best life. Now, of course, I'm not avoiding the social aspects of world problems and events like this, and having practical solutions and creating awareness for certain conditions and all that. That's a very important part. What I'm talking about is coming into a space of healing and unity and alignment and high vibration within yourself, so that you can create your best life and actually assist the world in whatever practical ways from this space. That's what we're really talking about. And the energy you are in attracts your greatest life. It literally is becoming more and more apparent that that's true. And the more you turn within and heal within and align within, the more you're going to see your best life come to you, your best relationship come to you, your greatest state of abundance flow into you, your greatest space of spiritual self-realization come to you, awaken within you, all based on what energy you're in, based on how deeply and intimately you are soothing yourself and coming into empowerment rather than reactivity. When we're in reactivity, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And I get overwhelmed just as much as anyone. But when we come back into within ourselves and our own power, that's when the magic happens. And we start somehow entering into this space of unity. And this unity then lifts us up above the division, above the polarity, above the duality, and above the ego that plays out within the collective and also within ourselves. It raises us up above that into a space of peace, of unity, of clarity and joy. Even if there's chaos around us, we move from chaos to peace and perfection. When we realize that we are powerful creators, we are divine, and by using the external to come in and recognize our power and to come into the highest energy, that creates our best life. So it's really an opportunity like that. And so what happened with me after the Will Smith thing is I went into me and my brother were talking about it for a few days, and and how unsettling it kind of felt. And I was responding to the collective energy of the situation and trying my best not to project or anything like that, but coming into meditation, making sure I was healed, aligned, and made sense of it within myself, and cleared any attachments or projections or anything like that, and trusted in the overall unfolding, and I'm willing to open my heart with unconditional love and forgiveness and support of the world in this time. And obviously many other things have been going on as well, so extending that to all the challenges and issues in the world. But I made sure I was coming from this place of alignment. And what came out of that was a really wonderful thing, because I ended up finding a lost part of myself in the process. And that part of me was fragmented from my being, and that's the part of me that got so triggered by this incident. And so that part of me was a lost aspect of my inner child. Specifically when I was literally just born, it was an aspect of me that I actually found some baby photos after the incident. I went into meditation, I got the insight, look at some baby photos of myself, and I saw this baby photo of myself. And I immediately, as I glanced and made contact with my baby self in that photo, I felt this energy flood back into my being and fill me up with a joy in which I felt this radiant peace extending up to the world, and only wishing healing energies so that we can actually rise above the ego and the patterns it plays out and just come into that space of clarity. God, the sun is very bright today, isn't it? Hopefully it just goes beneath a cloud, because I know that it's a little bit blinding when it's so bright, and I'll probably have to figure out how to get the brightness of it down in future. But that was the opportunity that came out of this from me. Was I went within, I focused in on how I was projecting onto the world, whatever expectations I was having on the world to make me happy, and knowing that that's okay too. And then I healed within. I got the insight that actually a part of me was lost from my beingness, and I sort of retrieved that part of me and reclaimed it. And then there was the peace there. And in that peace, I was able to see the situation more from a space of unconditional love, and offering healing energies to the world, and obviously healing actions. And part of this live stream is part of that. Hi, Mac. It's great to see you. And Effortless. It's really great to see you. Thank you for being here. But what I want to say is, whatever you're feeling, don't be afraid of that. And as dark and overwhelmed as you may feel, whether it's triggered by an outside event or just things in your life, know it is an opportunity for you. And if you're feeling it, it's fundamentally because you're safe to heal this, and you're meant to be healing this energy. You're meant to be in this emotion. That's the point of why it's arising, is you're safe. You're very, very safe. Maybe I can, give me 1 second, maybe I can kind of adjust this window to get it a little bit more darker. Will that work? How's that? A little bit better? Hopefully that may be a little bit better. And I want to ask you, what's the opportunity that the events around the world are asking you to take within yourself, so that you can align your energy and become your greatest self? What is the opportunity here for you? What is the lesson to be learned? What is the belief to be uncovered? What is the part of you asking for love and crying out for help in an overwhelmed emotional response, or a triggered state of being? These are the questions that you can ask that will gently guide you into uncovering parts of yourself, healing any overwhelmed energies, and coming into that space of alignment where the world stops seeming so tumultuous and so divisive, and it starts being seen through you from a space of unity and unconditional love and peace, which is all about what the new earth is about. And in fact, I would be so bold to say that such events manifest in sort of divinely timed ways, because it's an opportunity to sort of disrupt the flow of the norm of how we're used to experiencing life and how we're expecting life to be. And it disrupts us only to as a gift, so we can then awaken into a greater space of unconditional flow, which is the opposite of disruption that can be caused by external things. Well, that disruption only happens so that we can step into a deeper unconditional flow and alignment within ourselves. And part of that happens for you through asking these questions and through not being afraid of how you're feeling, never ever being afraid of the inner space within you, all the parts within you, but actually knowing all of them are only arising because there's a benevolent unfolding in your life. There's a highly attuned a space that you're entering into within yourself that is directly going to align your energy, which is going to create your best life. That's how it works. And that's why these things manifest as only an opportunity for us collectively and individually to enter into our best space if we see it that way. Rather than, oh no, things are going wrong, it's we are being invited, you are being invited to align your energy into your best self. So there's nothing to be afraid about with how you're feeling based on what's happening around the world. Hi Hans, love and peace back to you from Australia. It's great to see you here. So there is a lot of energy going around the collective, but if you're seeing what's going on as a sign of an opportunity for your healing, and you ask the questions, what's the lesson for me? And you're willing to be with that part of you, your energy will align. And when your energy aligns, your best life is attracted to you. And that brings me to really another point, is that when we go through an interesting phase of intense energy brought on by external things in our life, and we have the courage that this is happening for a very benevolent purpose, and we just hold true to that knowing, even in the midst of overpowering emotion and feeling complete desperation and not knowing why this is happening, maybe fear, overwhelm, whatever it is. And we just allow that with the trust that something good is coming out of that. When you really deeply know that this is how life works, and that the chaos within yourself and the chaos within the world is only a prelude to the perfection that's about to unfold, it brings you into that space faster. It may be still very intense, but it brings you into that space of perfection. And I want to share you a personal experience of the power of what's really going on when things like this happen around the world and when energies boil up within you. What's really going on? What really the positive potential is for you. Because not only does it provide this opportunity for alignment, and that can bring in things into your life, like you just heal and then all of a sudden a new potential partner pops in. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that happens to people I know, and it's happened to me. You know, a little win, all of a sudden some opportunity comes in your job, or perhaps you run a business. You know, practical things like that in your real life just instantly start mirroring, especially in the energies we're in right now, very quickly after we take this opportunity to heal. But even deeper than that, why is there turbulence collectively in humanity and within ourselves? And what's the real perfection it can lead to? So part of that perfection is the external things I've just said. But deeper than that, there's another kind of perfection that is being offered to you. And this is a perfection, a true perfection. It's a divine perfection. So I'll share you a story that happened to me, an experience that happened to me during this week, in which I was briefly in this space of perfection. This is the true reward of what this is all about. It's the awakening of ourselves into a space of relief beyond all possible division, beyond all possible conflict. Total presence, total peace, total perfection shines forth in this space. So what am I talking about? Well, when we heal our energies and when we see our energy reflect into our external life and our life just gets better and better, we start even seeking something even more higher. We start seeking just alignment for its own space, because we know our external life is going to be taken care of, and we're more and more in the flow of trust with our external life. And so we're trusting, we're trying to seek then a stable space of alignment within ourselves. And when you do this alignment work, when you're really bought into your own power, when you're really trusting that if I turn within, that if I look at what's going on inside me, and if I soothe all parts of me into alignment, I can just get into that aligned space to an even more unimaginably amazing degree. when you trust all of that, eventually these experiences just happen, where you suddenly, your consciousness expands into a space of unity, and you're in this radiant space of perfection, and it's just, there's no opposite to that. So this experience actually happened to me before all of the events this week. It was about a day or two before. But I always go through energetic upgrades, and I'm always dealing with deeper healings and aspects within myself. And this past week I've had about 6 awakenings in the past week, to be honest. But this one was quite profound because I'd just gone through a bit of a inner healing and alignment process. And I was actually doing my shopping. I was on my way to get my shopping, and I was scootering along the beach. And I picked up my shopping, and I was zooming back by the beach. I just realized that I don't know if much of what I'm saying is making much sense, because what I'm trying to talk about at the ultimate state of energetic alignment is when there's no more thoughts. There's no more thoughts in that way. You're not thinking, oh, I'm in alignment. It's just, it's a shining forth state is what I'm trying to speak about. And your life effortlessly just unfolds from this space. But suddenly I was zooming back with my shopping on my scooter by the beach, and I had this urge to sit down and put on some music, and I was just watching. It was a busy beach. There were people riding by on bicycles, walking past with their dogs. The whole beach was filled with people, and the sun was coming down. And suddenly I felt this energy within me was so aligned, was so in the trust with life, was so grateful for all of life, was in a very high vibrational space, that it just grew, and it grew to a level where suddenly I was looking at life through a different space where there was no need for thoughts anymore. It was just the energy of love and joy and peace and bliss shining forth. And when that happens, it's like the limited you that was once seeing a scary world and was once on a healing journey into a space, always seeking something more. Suddenly that part of you realizes it's come home, and there's a relief that shines forth, and your personal sense of self then extends beyond you. It's like your identity expands and starts hugging the whole world, so to speak. And you start seeing everyone as one with you. And everyone sort of starts moving around in this body of awareness that just expands with this energy to fill up the whole world. And then you really realize that there's a divine oneness, a divine consciousness, a divine energy that unifies us all. And that's what this is really about, is not only you having your greatest life come true, but actually realizing that you're one with life, you're one with everybody itself. We share the same essence, the same core, and the same fabric as everyone. And the moment that this most beautiful realization hits you, it's sort of so stunning. It silences you into an awe and a peace and a perfection that makes you just want to weep with the beauty of it all. And it's from that space that you realize you could never be cruel to another human being. You could never. You want to wish the best for humanity, and you realize that's the power of your energy. Is when you can raise up in your own consciousness, where you literally feel connected in your awareness to everything. You realize that is the point of view. That's the purpose. That's the point. That is your ultimate power. Not only is that shaping your entire reality, but it's also shaping everyone else. It's also offering that energy to everyone else. And that vision that is actually at the core within everyone, that everyone's kind of seeking this wholeness, this fulfillment, this absolute love, this perfection beyond containment. Is this actually what you are? It's actually what you are. And so I rose up into this consciousness and this space, and there's no way to explain it. There's no way to debate it, to deny it. It's not a belief. It's just the pure perfection you are. And I want to share that with you, because when you're in this space, the whole world seems like this flowing, perfect play where everyone's just moving into with perfect harmony. Everyone's playing their parts. Everyone's on their soul's awakening journey, and everyone's ultimately headed for this space of unity. So when you are in this space within yourself, you realize this is what it's all about. This is why chaos is brewing around the world is because collectively things are being shaken up, and every lower belief, every sense of separateness, every emotional trauma that is within each of us, and therefore collectively within all of us, all of it gets sort of brought to the surface in these turbulent moments that impact us all. But we don't really realize why. Well, it's because on the other side of these turbulent moments is this radiant space of perfection that's going to blossom within us all, that when you feel, you become almost plugged back into the very source of life and very complete within yourself, and you actually shine with a perfection that sends healing to humanity, that acts practically with healing energies to humanity, and that actually can solve many of humanity's problems from this space of perfection, completion, and wholeness. And this is what is within you. This is what life is all about for you. You're going to have your most amazing life. You intend for that, you hold that intention, you align your energy, you trust in this process, and you move step by step. Your life will reflect back to you everything positive imaginable for you. And then that will get to such a point where you then feel so trusting of the journey that even when another turbulent episode happens in your life, you'll see there's something divine about this, there's a blessing about this as well, and you'll align beyond that until you're graced with a moment where temporarily any sense of problem in the world or any sense of overwhelm in your life or any sense of needing to accomplish more suddenly will be wrapped up into an epiphany of enoughness that will just shine forth, and you will glimpse the total beauty behind all of life and the total love behind all of life, and you realize you are that. And so that's an experience that I had, and it's so beautiful, but you want to share it with everyone, and you realize that more people don't know about this possibility, that it's actually possible for you to experience this within yourself, and you're worth this. You're worth this level of joy and alignment and peace and happiness and a sense of connection to every living thing. You're worth that, and that's what everyone ultimately needs in this world. That's where peace comes. Because when you feel that way, why would you ever not want good things for everyone? You can't not want that. And it doesn't mean that you erode your own boundaries or your own sense of wants. You realize that fits in, you fit into that picture too. And so this is really the ultimate sense of what it means to be aligned in your energy, and what it really means to get into greater states of awakening and alignment within yourself. And so when you enter into this space where suddenly you can let go of control, not in the sense of a bad way, but you step into a divine space of quote unquote control, but it's a radiant control it's so intelligent, it's so effortless that it takes care of itself, yet feels like everything's going to happen right for you. That's the alignment. That's what it means to really step into the empowerment of your energy, and good things start coming to you from this point, because you're one with life and life responds to you and your energy. So I wanted to share this beautiful moment that happened by the beach, where I felt, for perhaps we lose track of time because it's sort of timeless these days, but it lasted probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. And there's nothing but the biggest grin on your face, because that's where you're at in life. And you kind of understand not everyone's ready for this. And if I had heard about such spaces of awakening and alignment within my energy at some points in my journey, it would probably annoy me, to be honest, or frustrate me, or make me feel like I'm not enough. What am I doing wrong? What's this guy talking about? How can I get to these states? I'm missing out. I'm not doing it right. I don't want you to think that about yourself at all. I want you to realize how perfect you are. And in fact, the kinder you are to yourself, the more these spaces can shine forth, because that's the point. It's all about self-love, all about you aligning your energy, all about you coming into home within yourself. No matter how tumultuous, overwhelming, and turbulent the world is, you just use that as only inspiration to come home within you and to align your energy, and then eventually it will blossom for you at the right space. I don't have this all figured out, by the way. These glimpses are so beautiful, and I feel blessed to experience this space of alignment. But then 2 days later, I was overwhelmed by what was happening around the world. Quite heavily, to be honest. I really got quite overwhelmed and triggered by it because it was a lot of shock and a lot of overwhelming things going on. And so I came out of that space of perfection into quite a space of friction. But it didn't last, and the energy realigns itself, and now good things move forward. And that's going to be true for you, is that you'll always emerge out of this space more aligned than ever before. And again, I'm going to keep saying it because it's such a powerful point. When you are in alignment in your energy, good things come to you. Good ideas come to you. Practical action comes out of you. It's not like you necessarily just sit there. You're inspired to do work like never before. And so all of it just starts functioning to create your best life. And I want you to know you're worth that. And you're worth things coming true for you. And you're worth taking the turbulence of the world and transmuting it into inner peace and perfection within yourself. One moment at a time, one step at a time for you and your journey. And you're worthy of trusting that this will create everything that you want in your life. You're worthy of linking that all up into a unity of understanding so that you can eventually even experience something even more simple and childlike and wonderful about that, where you can even let go of all of that into just a radiant space of perfection, which is what true unity consciousness is about, and spiritual awakening is pointing to, and all of this great stuff is utter safety, peace and relief within yourself that then shines forth as a sort of joy that seems in the moment everlasting until it evaporates away and the next layer comes up. So hopefully you can feel what I'm pointing to, because I'm talking about the truth within your soul. And it's not an idea, it's just love. It's just it's a dimension that doesn't need proof anymore. It's a matter of the heart and a matter of the soul coming into alignment. And that's what awakening is all about. That's what alignment's all about. And that's what's going to birth forth your greatest self and attract in your greatest life. So use the world to turn within with this opportunity to step into this energy within yourself. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do. So Carla said something. So Carla says, as an empath at times, I find myself blocking the outside instead of using it as an opportunity for growth. I'll join that club, Carla. Sometimes I blame the outside, get triggered by the outside, and it takes a while before I catch it. Oh, I'm actually projecting onto the outside, be that with a person, be that with a situation, such as some of the events happening around the world recently. Whatever the case may be, it's okay to kind of respond in that way of blocking the world, or even falling back into a kind of an unconscious habit that you thought a part of you was kind of healed with and didn't really need to step back into. For example, I remember there was a time that even when I was having spiritual experiences, I got overwhelmed and I would immediately start eating Skittles because they were a little crutch of mine, and I would just turn to sugar. That was one such way. So we might turn into old unconscious habits like this. We might just be completely overwhelmed and unable to escape the emotional intensity and the thoughts that are around that. That's okay too. Whatever your response is okay. And the key is having the awareness that it's okay, even a fragment of the awareness it's okay, and that it's happening. Because if you have that there and you're programmed, I don't like the word programmed, not really programmed, but just kind of aware of this loving point of view towards yourself, then all the ways that you react in whatever's happening within your life, there's a compassionate, hopeful, trusting undercurrent that eventually will pull you back into that stream of alignment. So I do that, whether it's sort of bypassing the world or bypassing my emotions, falling back into kind of overwhelming habits or patterns or whatever it is, and feeling overwhelmed and unable to access any point of view and just kind of having let it play out. Whatever the case may be, it's okay. But I want you to trust you are healing, you are aligning, and more consciousness, more awareness will come into this process until you start automatically knowing it's an opportunity, as however overpowering the event is, or the emotion is, or the thoughts can be. And then you kind of still more with a greater backbone within yourself, have this knowingness that this is a good thing, that there's an opportunity for here, that you will claim that opportunity, that you will align within yourself, and that you will be rebirthed quite quickly too. Or, there's no rush either, but in quite a satisfying way, you will be rebirthed into that aligned space to step in to your next greatest life chapter, and to attract in what you're meant to attract in that's positive for you coming soon after. So yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Carla, for that. So what I'm going to do is I actually had a couple of people saying they were missing the lives and they wanted to ask a question or some questions, but they kept missing it. So what I said is I'll answer one or two of those, and then then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some practical, actionable steps that you can use to come into a great space of alignment within your own energy, so you can powerfully create what you want in your life. I'll explore that. So the one question I just wrote down one. Where did I put it? It was about meditation. Let's have a look. Okay, so the question was, you mentioned that you meditate at least 20 minutes each day. Do you sometimes get lost in it or feel I need to do more, or that I can't do it? And so basically asking me around that. Because indeed meditation is a very powerful way and kind of, in my opinion, quite a staple practice for empaths, for awakening souls and light workers and people on a spiritual journey to really ground themselves. So firstly, I don't see meditation in the traditional way of calming the mind. That seems lacking the heart-centeredness that I really need, because it needs to connect to love for me. Otherwise, it seems a bit removed from what the purpose of spirituality is all about for me. So I see meditation as an intimate way for you to actually be aware of what parts of your mind are saying. And parts of your mind come from parts of yourselves and the various energetic states that parts of yourselves are in. So we call it the ego mind and the monkey mind and things like that, but how about calling it simply thought energies that are emerging out of parts of you that are seeking greater love and attention from you. And so meditation is a space for you to observe them, observe what these parts of you are saying, and in the very observation of those things, in the very giving of your awareness and attention to those things, because you are a divine soul and your awareness is fundamentally the highest vibration and energy of love and wholeness and perfection. Simply by doing that, you soothe those parts of you, you soothe the inflammation of those parts of you, you come into a greater alignment, and then your mind naturally calms down until you can then step into that place of perfection beyond the mind I was talking about earlier. So 20 minutes for me, what I found with that was it's just enough time for me to kind of meet parts of myself that are a bit overwhelmed and emotions attached to those parts of me and soothe it into alignment. But I did extend it to 25 minutes at the moment. And then what I even found is that I'm giving myself permission to intuitively stay in meditation for longer than 25 minutes based on what I intuitively feel I need, based on what the day is, what energy space I'm in, how much energy I'm moving, or whatever is going on in my life. Sometimes things are more overwhelming. There's an event in your life that makes you feel more stressed and your mind's more racing and your emotions more chaotic, etc. And so in those times, I'm actually extending my meditation to up to 60 minutes. So what I do is I set the timer for 25 minutes. It goes off. I kind of gauge where I'm at and I kind of go 15 minutes. I'm going to stay 15 minutes. Or I'm going to stay for 5 minutes. Or no, that's good for today. Or I'm just going to stay in for as long as I need right now. And I have a morning routine that carves out enough time for up to an hour to sit in this space of meditation. I've only ever had to kind of sit for the full hour once, and to be honest, it felt a bit long, and I felt a little bit like my day routine got a bit delayed. So coming back to the question though, I'm very trusting of myself when it comes to my own process now, and backing of my own process, because when you glimpse divine love and you come into that inner space of unity, it's not that you become arrogant or think that you've got the ultimate truth. Far from it. I'm in spiritual childhood, I feel, and I've got so much to learn. I'm always learning. But it's more you trust what works for you, and you trust the ultimate purpose of why you're doing things for you and your soul's journey and your theme, and your personality, your tendencies, etc. So for me, I'm very loving and very trusting of me. So I'll never go, oh, I'm not meditating enough. Or even if I miss a whole day of meditation, I'm never, oh, how could you? Because I don't talk to myself in any other ways that I would talk to someone that's such a beautiful thing and human being and point of the divine, as we all are. That's took me a while to not see that as a narcissistic thing, but actually a really beautiful, selfless thing, almost like the divine embracing a part of itself. And the divine source, or God, or whatever you want to call that ultimate source that we're all sparks of, it only ever radiates unconditional love and acceptance to you. So why would you offer anything less to yourself? So that I may not be perfect with that, but when it comes to anything in my life, or be it meditation, I try and keep my self-talk as unconditionally supportive and accepting and positive as can be. Of course, we can always take this to greater levels. And so I'm very flexible with my practice, intuitive with it, and whatever I need is based on whatever I recommend for you is whatever's going to support your life and enhance your life and give you greater positivity in your life, by seeing meditation as a practice that can soothe all parts of yourself so that you can step beyond into the spiritual dimension of love and peace and unity, and be blessed and graced with those ultimate states of knowing that life is all about. Hans says, tuning out the frequencies of manipulations around the world, yet trying to bring awareness. So that's an interesting point. Everyone has different frequencies within. That's very true, Mac. What kind of meditation do I do? So I kind of watch my mind. So kind of a mindfulness meditation, but not in a removed way or I engage with it actively somehow as well. So my mind will say something, and I don't see it as my mind just pulling up thoughts that aren't mine from the collective consciousness. I feel that's too detached from me. But it's a valid point of view. I'm just saying it doesn't resonate with me. I see it as beautiful, divine aspects within the infinite consciousness of the source that I'm simply becoming aware of, and granting me an opportunity to learn from something, to soothe it with love, and in doing so to then witness those thought patterns dissolve into peace. So I kind of watch my thought, I sort of sometimes actively engage with it. Sometimes I even send affirmations to parts of myself within my body, or whatever's going on within the energy of my body. And eventually everything sort of quietens down. It really does feel seen or heard, because I really believe that these aspects of the thoughts are attached to aspects within ourselves, as much as maybe some of these thoughts are just simply buzzing around from the collective unconsciousness as well. But I just sort of watch that and I align myself through that. That's the kind of meditation I do. So yeah, so that's the question I'll answer on meditation. And now I'll just get into some brief practices. So one of the key ways that you can align your energy to create your best life and to ultimately awaken into your soul's greatest alignment more and more, one of the simple ones I've said is by creating a relationship with parts of yourselves so as to integrate and reclaim parts of yourself. So one of the key exercises I found for that is inner child sentence stems. Now this is something that I work with my one-on-one coaching clients, and we find specific ones for you. So it's sort of customized, so it would take too much time. It's a very unique process for finding the right sentence stems. But what I can point to you is a general resource with lots of these sentence stems, and I'll explain what these are in a second. And the resource would be looking at the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. And so he researched about self-esteem. I think he passed away in about 2014, but he has great ideas about self-esteem, which is all about building your worthiness and self-trust and self-love. So the book itself is a great read, but at the back he has this kind of 6-week program with all these sentence stems. And what the idea is, it starts a sentence. For example, one of the ones I can remember off the top of my head might be, if the child in me could speak, he or she would say. That's one of the ones from the program. So he or she would say, or if you don't identify with he or she, or something else, non-binary or whatever else, you would put whatever pronoun resonates with you, because I'm inclusive of literally every possible mode of identifying with whoever you feel yourself to be. So I'm sorry if that didn't feel as inclusive as it could be, but that's the stem as it is verbatim from the book. And then, but anyway, coming back to whatever it is, it's you then complete that sentence grammatically, and whatever comes up, you just complete the sentence 6 or 8 times, and without thinking about it, without trying to, how would I say, without trying to anticipate what answers are going to come up, you just complete the sentence grammatically 6 to 8 times. And what it does is, for example, with that inner child stem, is it starts bringing to your awareness what your inner child's trying to say to you from your unconscious mind. And you do that each day, and you can follow the program based on the instructions in that. But it basically helps you bring a connection to parts of yourself. And as those parts of you are given a voice through these sentence stems, it really helps. I'm going to write in the comment, by the way, what I'm talking about with the sentence stems. So the book is called by Nathaniel Branden, called The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. And at the back of that book, which you can purchase, is some of those sentence stems exercises. And just choose whichever ones resonate with you, and you can start doing those. So there's those. And what happens is your various aspects of yourself, your teenage self, your child self, through these sentence stems will suddenly bring up stuff to you. And it will give you ideas on actions you can take, things that you can do within yourself, how you can speak to yourself to bring in greater unity within these parts of you. And that will align your energy and integrate you, and therefore you will be able to expand into your best life. For example, and I take this very seriously, my inner child, when I was doing these sentence stems again, because I hadn't done them for about 4 years, I decided to revisit them to really bring another level of integration with all parts of myself. And my inner child actually said, I want to play Game Boy. So I knew what this meant. I was talking about a Game Boy Color from 2001 when I was 6 years old. And I played with this Game Boy, and I remember my inner child actually got a little bit traumatized because my younger brother, through no fault of his own, snatched it away from me. And I remember he was sort of hogging it, or maybe that's not even true, but something about him using my Game Boy back then made me feel hurt and like I couldn't have that amazing moment in playing my Game Boy. And so there was a slight trigger there, but more deeply symbolically, it was a part of me that needed to feel more seen, more loved, more cherished in that moment as a greater theme of that healing. And so what did I do? Well, my inner child said, I want you to play Game Boy Color. So what did I do? I actually bought one. Look at this thing. It's quite amazing, isn't it? This Game Boy Color from 2001. And I bought that online. It's like a limited edition thing now. And there's the Mario game that I used to play when I was 6. And I got that. It took a few weeks to come in, however long it took. And then I started playing that. And I cannot tell you the bursting joy I felt in that moment. And so that all came from the inner sentence stem exercises. So check those out in that book if you'd like a practical step on how to align your energy and these parts of yourself, and therefore be in the greatest space to create your best life. Start with that resource. And if you want to work with me one-on-one to heal within yourself, to step into your most confident, worthy version of yourself, well, then I have coaching, links for my coaching in the description below, but that's not essential, but it's a good opportunity if you do want more of customized support for these sorts of things and to work with me. So yeah, so that's one. The next step is whenever you develop more of a positive relationship with yourself, you're becoming more of aware of these parts of yourself, you can start involving them in daily activities. So you can start giving them compliments throughout the day. You can start saying, inner child or teenage self, let's go on a walk together. So instead of just going on a walk, whatever you do, maybe you walk your dog, actively involve parts of you that you know are still healing into the adventure of your life in the present moment. And again, it builds that unity, it builds that alignment. And these parts of you actually feel like they're purposeful and part of your journey. So you send them affirmations, you involve them in your life as another practical step. So that's another thing that you can do. And on top of that, feel every emotion. So when you're overwhelmed, go into that and feel whatever emotion you're feeling. That is the healing process as well. And it's a very practical thing. And I've probably sat with emotions now I reckon, for hundreds of hours, just feeling, because I know it's going to really heal me, and that will align everything. So feeling is healing. So sit with your emotions and know that you're safe to do so as another practical step. This could be actually within your meditation practice, if you have that, or simply a quiet moment where you have 15 minutes, 30 minutes to have a lie down and actually feel what you're feeling and acknowledge what you're going through. That is the loving, unifying process of expanding your energy. So, wow, I've talked for 15 minutes now, so I didn't expect it would go so long. So, hopefully some of this gives you some practical points, and there's a nice energy within this that makes you feel safe, special, important, loved, very excited to align your energy, and knowing that the external events of the world are fundamentally opportunities for this alignment and empowerment and healing process within yourself that will directly raise you up into the greatest vibration and create your best life as a result. So hopefully you've got something out of this. Really appreciate you being here. And so what I'll say now is the final, to wrap everything up. Please like this video. Please leave a comment. I love hearing from you, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned for more of these weekly live streams and more content as well. And if you're an awakening soul, if you're on a spiritual journey, if you're a light worker, I've got many great things to share with you in future. So stay tuned for that. You can get a free reality shift cheat sheet, which contains lots of amazing resources and secrets for shifting your reality and awakening your soul and healing yourself. And you can get that little guidebook for free at a link in the description below. And finally, check out my one-on-one coaching if you'd like to work with me in a more intimate basis to help you manifest what you want, to help you align within yourself, heal, unblock yourself of certain energies. I can work with you through all of that to really empower you into your greatest self and really help you understand what's going on in life, and to really put you on a pathway of your greatest life and greatest self, and to bring you into that space. That's what it's all about. So if you'd like to work with me, you can check that out also at the link in the description below. And other than that, thank you so much for being here. Really wish you so well. And the last thing I'll say is, whatever's happening around the world, I hope you can see that I'm coming from a place of unity, and it's the unity that is within you that I'm speaking to. And I know that that's going to come to life for you into your waking reality more and more within a very short while in your life, because you're on this path and because you're here right now. So I celebrate and honor your journey of awakening into the highest unity of your soul, and I believe in you and your path ahead. So thank you for being here. I'll see you soon, everyone. Bye. See you, Max. See you, Carla. See you, everyone. Bye.